Hi there. Real quick before we jump into the episode. If you enjoy this episode, or any of the other episodes, be sure to give us a follow or subscribe. It would also be great if you shared it with a friend, or better yet, left a review so others can know how awesome it is. Thanks so much. And now, the episode.
Hey there, Press Starters, and welcome to the Press Start Leadership Podcast, the podcast about game-changing leadership, teaching you how to get the most out of your product and development team and become the leader you were meant to be. Leadership coaching and training for the international game industry professional. Now, let me introduce you to your host, the man, the myth, the legend, Christopher Mifsud.
Hey there, Press Starters, and welcome back to another awesome edition of the Press Start Leadership Podcast. On this week's episode, we'll be discussing how to successfully inherit an existing team in the video game industry. A practical guide for game industry leaders on earning trust, understanding team culture, and guiding a pre-existing team with confidence and empathy. Stepping into a new team and a new legacy. One of the most defining moments of a leadership career in the video game industry happens when you inherit an existing team. Sometimes it is because you join a new studio. Sometimes it is due to a promotion inside a company where the team already has history, habits, and relationships long before you arrive. Sometimes you walk into a team that is thriving. Other times you step into a room filled with tension, burnout, or confusion. Regardless of how you get there, inheriting a team is a delicate and powerful opportunity. I have inherited multiple teams throughout my career. Each one came with its own challenges, personalities, strengths, and scars. Some teams were excited for new leadership. Others were weary because of past experiences. A few were openly skeptical or frustrated. In every case, I learned that inheriting a team is not just about taking control. It is about earning trust, understanding the existing culture, and finding the right balance between honoring what came before and building what comes next. The video game industry is a creative, collaborative, and often emotional environment. People pour themselves into their work. They form bonds, opinions, and habits. When a new leader arrives, there is this uncertainty, hope, fear, and curiosity all at once. The teams wonder what will change, what will stay, and what will improve. You, as the incoming leader, wonder how to integrate yourself effectively without disrupting the rhythm that already exists. This podcast is a guide to helping leaders navigate the transition of inheriting an existing team. I will share what has worked for me, what I have learned from mistakes, and how leaders can create stability, trust, and momentum quickly and respectfully. The goal is not to take control immediately. The goal is to build a foundation that supports the team and aligns everyone towards a shared future. Let us begin with the most important truth. Every existing team has its own story. And, as a leader, it is your responsibility to learn it before trying to write the next chapter. Understanding the dynamics of a pre-existing team. When you inherit a team, you are entering a story that has already begun. People have histories with the studio, old leadership, each other, and the project itself. Some of those histories are positive. Some are complicated. All of them matter. If you come in too quickly with strong ideas, sweeping changes, or authoritative decisions, you risk stepping on years of dynamics you do not yet understand. The team may interpret this as disrespectful or careless. If you come in too slowly or quietly, the team may think you lack direction and confidence. The key is finding balance, but balance only comes from understanding. The team's emotional landscape. A pre-existing team has emotional patterns that you must recognize. Some team members may feel protective of an old system or the previous leader. Some may be frustrated and desperate for change. Some may be suspicious of new leadership. Some may be quietly hopeful. A few may feel threatened. Many may simply be waiting to understand who you are. Even confident and capable teams feel uncertainty when leadership changes. They want to know if the new leader will respect them, challenge them, support them, or overlook them. The team's unspoken rules. Every team has rules that are never written down. Who people actually go to when they need help. Who influences decisions behind the scenes? How conflicts are resolved? What the team tolerates, ignores, or prioritizes? What communication style they respond to? How decisions were made in the past? What behaviors were rewarded or punished? As an incoming leader, your job is to observe before disrupting those unspoken structures. The team's history with leadership. How a team responds to you depends heavily on how they experienced previous leaders. If the previous leader was beloved, the team may be cautious or even protective. If the previous leader caused harm, the team may be on edge, skeptical, or exhausted. Your leadership does not start at zero. It starts at the emotional residue left behind by those who led before you. Actionable steps for understanding team dynamics. Observe before you intervene. Spend the first few weeks learning team patterns, strengths, and communication styles. Identify informal leaders. These are often the most influential people in the room, even if they do not hold the title. Pay attention to energy. Notice enthusiasm, quiet frustration, tension, or disengagement. Ask team members about the past. Learn what worked and what did not under previous leadership. Review past retrospectives or team feedback. These documents often reveal long-term issues or cultural habits. Understanding comes before action. Without understanding, action creates friction instead of trust. Begin by listening. The first weeks matter most. Too many leaders walk in with a plan before they walk in with an ear. Listening is the most powerful tool you have when inheriting a team. It communicates respect, curiosity, humility, and seriousness. Shows the team that you value them before making assumptions about them. When I take over a team, I start with one-on-one conversations with every member. I do not use these meetings to evaluate performance. I use them to understand the person, their experiences, and their view of the team. Why listening matters. Listening accomplishes several things at once. It builds early trust. It reveals underlying problems. It helps you identify strengths. It gives you insight into team culture. It prevents unnecessary or harmful changes. It brings clarity to expectations and fears. People want to feel heard. If your first impression is that you are a listener, not a dictator, you begin your leadership journey on a strong foundation. How to run effective first one-on-ones. During early conversations, I ask open-ended questions. I do not challenge answers. I do not defend myself. I do not talk about my plans. I simply listen. Here are some questions that help uncover important information. What do you enjoy most about working on this team? What frustrates you the most? What processes do you think work well? What would you change if you could? How do you prefer to communicate? What do you need from leadership to do your best work? What is the one thing you wish previous leaders had done differently? You learn more from listening than from delivering speeches or sharing your philosophy. Actionable steps for effective listening. Schedule one-on-ones with each team member during the first 2 weeks. Take notes. Patterns will emerge once you compare perspectives. Ask open-ended questions, not leading ones. Do not interrupt or defend. Your goal is to learn, not correct. Follow up with gratitude. Thank each person for their honesty. Listening is leadership. Listening is respect. Listening is how you begin. Assess strengths, weaknesses, and team chemistry. Once you've listened, you can begin building a deeper assessment of the team's strengths, gaps, and interpersonal dynamics. Inheriting a team means working with the talent you have, while gradually shaping the team into what it needs to become. Understanding individual strengths. Every team member brings something unique. Your job is to understand their technical skills, their collaboration habits, their work ethic, their problem-solving style, their creative strengths, their reliability, their communication patterns. You also want to identify hidden strengths. Sometimes the quietest person in the room has incredible insight or mentorship potential. Sometimes a frustrated employee has valuable institutional knowledge that has been overlooked. Understanding weaknesses and gaps. Weaknesses are not failures. They are signals. They help you understand where to support, where to coach, and where to adjust team roles. Weaknesses can include burnout, skill mismatches, role misalignments, communication struggles, poor documentation habits, personality conflicts, lack of mentorship or guidance. Your job is not to judge. Your job is to help each person become their best. Understanding chemistry. Team chemistry is the invisible force that determines how well people collaborate. A team may have strong individuals, but if chemistry is bad, the project will suffer. Chemistry assessment includes who collaborates naturally, who avoids certain coworkers, who takes initiative, who holds back opinions, who lifts others up, who drains morale, How conflict is handled. Team chemistry tells a story that cannot be found in charts or metrics. Actionable steps for team assessment. Review work output and collaboration patterns. Look at quality and the way people work together. Identify potential leaders. Look for those who support others naturally. Document skill gaps. Use this to create future hiring or training plans. Watch meetings silently. Observe how people interact and who dominates or disappears. Validate your observations with the team. Ask clarifying questions and listen carefully. Assessment is not about judgment. It's about understanding so you can support the team effectively. Respect what already works before changing anything. One of the fastest ways to damage trust with a pre-existing team is to immediately change everything. If your ideas are brilliant, the timing may be wrong. People resist change when they feel it dismisses their past work or undermines their identity. When I inherit a team, I make it a priority to understand what already works. I communicate openly that I am not there to tear everything apart. I am there to listen and build on strengths. Why maintaining existing systems matters. Even imperfect systems hold meaning for the people who created them. They represent work, decisions, adaptations, compromises, and collaboration. Replacing them without context sends a message that none of that mattered. Keeping existing systems temporarily helps. Build psychological safety, demonstrate respect, ease fears of radical change, give you time to understand the full system, prevent the disruption of something that may be working better than you realize. People are more willing to accept change when you show respect for their past. Finding what works and why it works. During your first weeks, ask why certain workflows exist, understand their evolution, identify what is effective, identify what causes friction, look at how these systems serve the current and future goals. Sometimes older systems are better than you think. Sometimes they are outdated and need improvement. Either way, your goal is to understand before acting. Actionable steps for respectful leadership. Acknowledge team accomplishments publicly. Show that you appreciate their work before your arrival. Ask questions about why systems exist. Learn the history. Avoid making major changes in your first weeks. This prevents unnecessary disruption. Celebrate what still works. Reinforce strengths. Communicate that changes will happen collaboratively. This builds trust. Respect builds the bridge that allows change to cross safely. Set clear expectations and communicate your leadership style. Once you've listened, observed, and understood the team, you can begin communicating your expectations. This step is crucial. Without clear expectations, even strong teams will drift or misunderstand your intentions. Why expectation setting is important. Teams need clarity. They need to know what you value, what you expect, how you make decisions, what success looks like to you, what behaviors you encourage, what behaviors you will not tolerate. Clear expectations eliminate confusion and reduce anxiety. They help people adjust to your leadership style. How to communicate your leadership style without overwhelming the team. Share your style through conversations, not monologues. Be open and transparent. Explain how you prefer to communicate, how you approach conflict, how you track progress, how you support teams, how you give feedback, what you believe strong leadership looks like. This helps the team understand you, not guess your intentions. Actionable steps for clear expectation setting. Hold a team meeting to discuss your leadership approach. Make it conversational and open. Share expectations document or summary. Keep it simple and clear. Invite questions and feedback. Team members should feel included. Clarify boundaries and roles. Make sure everyone understands their responsibilities. Reinforce expectations through consistent behavior. This builds trust. Clear expectations turn uncertainty into alignment. Build trust over time. Authority through consistency. You cannot inherit trust. You must earn it. A team may respect your title, but they will only trust you based on your actions. Trust is not built through speeches or confidence. It is built through consistent follow-through, fairness, humility, and transparency. Why trust takes time. A team that has existed before you has its own internal trust network. People trust each other based on years of collaboration. You are the new variable. It is natural for them to hold back until they see how you behave. Trust builds when your words match your actions, you make decisions thoughtfully, you treat people fairly, you follow through on commitments, you listen to feedback, you do not react impulsively, you remain steady during challenges. Consistency is the glue of trust. Building trust with individuals. Spend consistent one-on-one time with team members. Ask about their goals, frustrations, and needs. Show them you care about their growth and value their input. Trust grows through repeated acts of reliability. Building trust with the team collectively. As a group, the team must see that you are stable, clear, and supportive. Trust builds when you create transparency, reduce chaos, and provide direction. Actionable steps to build trust over time. Follow through on every promise, even small ones. Consistency builds credibility. Stay calm during stressful moments. Your reaction sets the team's tone. Keep communication open. Share updates, decisions, and reasoning. Encourage upward feedback. Show that you are open to critique. Be fair and even-handed. Avoid favoritism and inconsistency. Trust is earned slowly and lost quickly. Treat it as the most valuable asset a leader can hold. Evolve the team without breaking it. Once trust is forming, you can begin guiding the team towards improvements. Change is necessary, but how you deliver it determines whether it strengthens the team or destabilizes it. Why gradual evolution matters. Rapid change can overwhelm the team, break morale, disrupt workflows, trigger fear or resistance, undo trust you worked hard to earn. Gradual change, however, feels collaborative and manageable. How to decide what to change. Use your earlier observations. What systems cause frustration? What workflows slow progress? What communication gaps exist? What alignment issues appear? What skills are missing? Create a prioritized list of improvement based on impact, urgency, and team readiness. How to roll out changes respectfully. Include the team in the process. Ask for input, share your thinking, give people ownership of the change. The more collaborative the change, the more successful it becomes. Actionable steps for effective evolution. Identify 1 or 2 changes to start with. Keep early improvements small and manageable. Discuss proposed changes with the team. Collaborate, do not dictate. Pilot changes before fully implementing them. Test, refine, and adjust. Explain why change is needed. Transparency reduces resistance. Celebrate improvements once they succeed. Reinforce positive momentum. Evolution is a partnership, not a unilateral decision. Final thoughts. Leading with respect, clarity, and vision. Inheriting an existing team is one of the most delicate and rewarding leadership challenges in the video game industry. It requires patience, empathy, careful observation, and intentional action. You're stepping into a legacy that began long before you arrived. Your job is not to erase the past, but to build upon it thoughtfully. Great leaders honor what works, understand what does not, and inspire people to move forward together. When you listen before acting, communicate with clarity, respect the team's history, and build trust steadily, you transform uncertainty into alignment and anxiety into confidence. A team you inherit can become a team you are proud of, a team you grow with, a team you learn from, a team that rallies behind your vision because they feel seen, respected, and supported. Leadership is never about arriving with answers. It is about creating the conditions where answers can emerge through collaboration, honesty, and shared purpose. Step into the role with humility, lead with clarity, build trust patiently, improve thoughtfully, and honor the privilege of guiding a group of people who were there before you and who now look to you for direction. You are not just inheriting a team. You are inheriting the future of their work and their experience. Treat that responsibility with care, confidence, and humanity, and you will shape something truly meaningful. All right, and that's this week's episode of the Press Start Leadership Podcast. Thanks for listening, and as always, thanks for being awesome.
Oh, hi. And the episode's over, but thanks for sticking around till the end. Be sure to check out more episodes in the playlist and new episodes every week on Monday. Follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. Don't forget to leave a review. Thanks again for being awesome.